right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Jerod Zavistoski, and you're listening to and watching Modern Male Radio. This is all the stuff your mama should have told you and the stuff your daddy never knew. And joining me tonight, we've got my co-host, Leah Pelka.
Hi.
And our special guest, Holly Wolf.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. So this is exciting because a lot of our demographic are actually your demographic.
Oh, great.
So they're going to know exactly who you are. And let's start from the beginning. Who are you? How did you get into this? And what are you doing currently?
Oh, well, I mean, I sit at home in my room and I play video games. And I did that growing up. So I continue to do that. I'm a international Playmate, so I've been on several covers for Playboy internationally, Philippines, Slovakia, Playmate of the Year for Czech, and Playmate for Mexico, as well as a bunch of other like modeling stuff. And I went to school for musical theater as well, so I danced a bit.
Impressive resume.
Yeah, and I did a lot of
it.
musical theater. So, and then, you know, I just carried on into gaming and having fun and being a bit of a closet nerd for a while. And then I was like, wait, why am I in the closet about this? I started talking about it more, and people were like, oh, you play video games?
Oh, chick that plays video games?
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and it's so weird because actually, the girl demographic of gamers is quite huge.
Yeah, it's like this, and it's crazy because it's you know, I feel like it's been the last 10 years. It didn't just go from like a few girls pretending to like video games so that they could get the nerd boys. Yeah. It became like actually like cool, like a thing.
Yes. Well, I mean, with the rise of like Marvel and DC and all these epic movies and everything like that,
It's become way more mainstream.
It's become that culture in general has become very mainstream over the last 10 years, I would say.
Yeah.
And same with gaming as well. They have like world championships for League of Legends, which is more watched than the Super Bowl. Like it's intense. There's so much money in it. It's ridiculous. So it's just crazy to me. Like, it's absolutely insane because I don't play video games at all. Really?
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
None.
A, I don't really have time. B,
Okay.
I have the most addictive personality in the history of the world. So if I get on a video game, I'm on that thing for the next week. Like, I won't sleep, I won't eat, I'll just be sitting there. I won't even shower. I'll just be like, and then I also like kind of have anger issues, like a little bit. So I mean, I go through controllers all the time, you know, just throwing them against the wall. Like, fuck you, you know. And dude, I had to sell my PS2. I was like, and that tells you something because that was the last time I played a video game. I was on a PS2 platform.
Oh, jeez. It's a good thing you didn't play like World of Warcraft or anything because that would have probably consumed your life.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here right now.
No, and you know, and Facebook's coming out with that new AI platform VR platform, and that's going to be.
Yeah, there was a lot of VR stuff at E3.
Yeah.
This week, and it was very exciting.
I'm kind of jealous. Like, that's definitely a community like I wish I played around more with, and I was more involved with. But like, part of me is just like no, it's Satan. Like, you can't because if you start.
Bible Shay.
Yeah.
The devil.
I'll never come back. So
yeah.
You know, and then it's just like I'm like, oh, dragons, that's cool, you know. And then a lot of times, like, you know, I think that we've come to a place where it can be that kind of you can be a normal human being and also be there. Whereas 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, it was like you were a geek, man. You lived that lifestyle. You were on that shit. Like, you were funky as fuck. You didn't shower. Like, you know, the guy that used to sell, the guy that used to own this video game shop. Like, I just slowly watched all of his teeth fall out of his head because it's like in the process of gaming, he just forgot to brush them, and they slowly rotted out of his head.
I mean, they're that hard with gaming. Like, that's like a gang. Like, you have to jump you into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, like, it's like anything. It's like a book or a movie. Like, it's literally designed and the better it is at this, the better it's designed, and it's designed to hook you in emotionally and get you to really care and commit to whatever it is. So it's like playing an interactive story that you've gotten to a place where you're like, and you'll watch.
So it's like almost art in a way, like expression.
Well, I mean, it's just the most interactive.
Because I also don't play, so I'm
art
like,
and entertainment. It's the most interactive form of entertainment.
Yeah.
So it's almost like in a way it's like social media that you can live out, like in like if it's playing Halo or something. It's like you can actually have an avatar and like go play with other people and like have your little online thing, but now you have to go and be like in real life. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to show up to it. You can really just Instagram and like, wow, it happened. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really. I mean, social media has its addictive qualities, but
Yes.
like, I don't even think that social media and gaming are on the same level at all.
No. No.
Really? Because
social-
I feel like that's way addictive
Social-
too. Have you seen people?
Yeah, and it
They're
is.
crazy.
But like, if you're kind of
You know,
in
they're
that,
crazy.
if you're in that kind of like, there's nothing to do mindset, and you start getting on there, and you're like, ooh, what's this? You know, like I get that kind of addiction,
Right.
but it's like it doesn't even compare to like. You're reading a book and you're like, oh, wow. And you're like so sucked in, but then you're also the character in the book. So, and if you don't do this one thing right, you're fucking dead and you got to start over from chapter 1. And you're like,
That is so emotional for
Yeah,
me. I don't need
yeah.
to go through that journey. I just
I
need to be a
haven't-
secondhand tertiary reader. Like, what you mean? Talking
No.
about all this emotional stuff. Like,
I
no,
haven't
I have a
finished
period
video
one time a
games.
month. That's emotional enough. I'm done.
I don't finish video games if I get too stressed out.
Really?
Yeah.
I get stressed out.
Do you ever have days where you're like off or like on and you're like you just can't get anything right and you're like
No,
nah?
not really. But
Really?
I mean,
She's
if you're
like, "No,
if you're
but
like
I'm a
if you're
genius."
not, if you're not leveled up properly for like a lot of games, if you don't have like if you're just not leveled up enough and you can't defeat certain bosses and stuff, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's terrifying.
stressful.
And you're like, do I spend hours doing quests? Do I? And
Yeah,
then you're like,
yeah.
yeah, I do.
I remember a show. It was The Big Bang Theory, and there was a guy on there who went in and stole Sheldon's avatar stuff. Do you ever have that happen, like where like a guy becomes really good and he like bosses you around? You're like, no, and you have to have an uprising or anything. That would be kind of cool.
I mean, I'm sure you would in like certain games.
I
I
have
play a lot
no
of
fucking
RPGs.
idea.
Oh, so you
I'm-
play a different. See, I don't know anything about like these different brands or
You-
whatnot.
you
I'm
said
like,
what?
Teach you.
There you go. She's like I'm in it.
RPGs role playing
Yeah.
games.
Oh.
So a lot of games have different
yeah, you got a
little
game to do that.
terms, FPS, MOBAs, MMOs, first-person shooters, like FPS, first-person shooter RPGs.
So what's your favorite game then?
Zelda?
Really?
Yes, I'm a
that's
huge,
like a,
huge
she's
Legend
like a
of
strong
Zelda.
female. Yeah, I like it.
Yes, Zelda,
cool.
and you play Link in the game. So,
Oh.
and if there's this cute, I know you had to see it where it's just like Link holding up a sign, and it's just like, I am not Zelda, or like, call me Zelda one more time.
Oh, that's kind of
Aw.
cute.
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
adorable. But yeah, so Legend of Zelda is a great series. That's
Cool.
Nintendo, and I also like Final Fantasy. You must have played some Final Fantasy.
I was really big on turn-based strategy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that like I fucking don't even remember the last game I played.
Right, I'm with you on that.
And
I'm like
I
Snake
I
on my
liked
old phone.
RPGs quite
Okay.
a bit,
Yeah.
but linear RPGs not so
Okay.
like
Open
Resident
world.
Evil.
Right.
Uh,
I have no
Onimusha.
idea. what
They
you're talking about.
released a I forget which Resident Evil remake it is, but they are remaking it and releasing it in VR, and it looks terrifying.
yeah, I saw
Terrifying.
that.
It's terrifying.
It's
I'm not
like,
playing it.
I don't understand why anyone would sign up for that. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a
It's-
horrible game. It's
It's
terrifying.
terrifying.
And, oh,
That's not my
nice.
style.
You know what
Scary
would
movie?
really fuck you
Scary
up?
movie, scary
Not cool. I
games?
just saw The
No.
Conjuring 2. I'm with you on that. Like, I'm still freaked
Yeah.
out over 9.
Yeah, nope.
Like if they did Silent Hill in VR.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Oh, no, too crazy.
No,
Too
thank you.
crazy.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know why people would want them surrounded in that.
We just think about the
situation.
injuries that are gonna happen. Like, what did you do? I ran into the TV set. Well, why'd you do that? Oh, because fucking, I was
It was
playing.
scary.
Yeah.
I was running away from zombies, and I thought they were coming at me, but
Yeah.
it was just right here.
Oh, man.
And zombies are great. So, is with E3 is that
Yeah.
it's strictly video games? So it's not like Comic-Con.
Yeah, so E3 is basically a trade show type of venue, and it's basically industry only. So it's a big trade event where all the major players come and showcase what's coming out for their systems, for developers, what
Very cool.
games
Cool.
within the next year, 2 years. So Nintendo released new content for the next Zelda title. Sony released they're making a new God of War. So it's like they come
Very
out and they say,
cool.
guess what? This is what we're doing. This is all our new stuff and everything like that. So
Very
all
cool.
gaming, all technology, and it's basically all the CEOs, everyone in the industry just coming together and
So for
hey,
everyone
this is
who
what we're
wasn't
doing, this is what
there,
we're doing.
Yeah.
so for everyone who wasn't there, what was the most exciting thing that you saw that you were like, oh?
It was the Zelda booth.
Oh,
Yeah,
of
it was
course.
a 3 to 4 hour line wait.
You're kidding.
Yeah, and it was gorgeous. They basically built like the setting around Hyrule Castle, which is one of
Oh,
the
wow.
main areas in the game. They built that, and they had 140 setups for you to play.
Oh, wow.
And it was a 40-minute demo. So they bring in a group of 20 at a time. You'd watch this awesome epic video. The screen would come up after it was done playing, and you'd enter into this giant area.
You're like, did I die? Is this heaven?
It was gorgeous. I edited my YouTube video last night and posted it, and it was only about that booth.
Okay.
Because it's huge.
Oh,
From the
wow.
outside, it's completely walled off to the ceiling. It's like 60 feet high. You don't see it until you go in, and it's just
You're like
opening into
I
this
want to
epic
get married
world.
here.
Yeah, I mean, I could. So
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you were a part of that setup?
No, I was just there.
You were just there.
I was just covering the event and doing a bunch of YouTube content and just going because I'm a huge consumer of video games.
Yeah.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
Right?
Very
Exactly. I'm just like, I need to be here.
cool. So what about the guys in the gaming industry? Are they on to you? Are they like, all right, Playboy, Playmate, I gotta, like, when you're there, are you like, yeah, I'm trying to look at stuff?
Well, no, because, I dress pretty nerdy in general.
No,
Well,
not at
today-
all. You're the
today-
hottest nerd I've ever
Today
seen.
I
Like,
didn't because I knew I was coming here after. So I was like, oh, okay.
I'm gonna get
a little better.
saxophone.
But I normally wear like cute little gaming t-shirts and like a pair of leggings.
And I'm sure that they hate you in yoga pants and a gaming shirt.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
you probably
I-
look
I-
super
yeah,
hot.
But there's so many girls in the industry as well. And there's also a few other Playmates there.
Oh, nice.
Former Playmates. Pamela Horton. She does all the Gamer Next Door stuff for
Very
Playboy.
cool.
So she was there with the whole team for the past 2 days filming all their content as well. And so there's so many girls in the industry. So,
Yeah, it's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Speaking
huge.
of which, I had an hour conversation today with Michael Sartain. Everybody say hi, Michael.
hello.
Hi, Michael.
And Michael is he's awesome. We love Michael here at Modern Mail. I think that Michael is going to be making way more appearances on Modern Mail. And I think that he's going to be a huge part of the next steps of this company. But he said something very interesting to me today.
Oh, was it about me?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said that
Oh, no.
he hooked you up with your current boyfriend. Is that correct?
He is a cupid, this Michael Sartain.
No,
Yeah, a little bit.
that's a lie.
Um,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Then it had to do with like the fact that you only like Asian guys.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
So, like-
I'm racist in the best way.
It's like Asian or bust.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. If you're
That's
if you're like
cool.
white, I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way with white people.
Okay.
But
Wow.
yeah.
There's a whole lot of learning going on in this room today. I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
I stepped out of Alabama and I came here and I'm like, and then the reverse situation. It's real crazy. I'm like, what do we do? I really went left on this one. This is amazing.
Yeah, no,
But
no.
I'm not like all about Asians. I just like very, very anti-white. Well, not anti like white girl. I will make
We are
it.
terrible people.
If you're white, you're not
Exceptions.
accepted in
Right here.
Jared's house.
Yeah.
How about that?
There is the door.
No, I'm just attracted to races outside my own, and I think
Right.
that has to do with genetic biology. Like,
Tell us more.
first rule of genetics: you spread the genes apart, and that's how to create better, healthier children. If you look at countries that have practiced lots and lots and lots of close inbreeding, like England, for example. Sorry, guys.
Don't have
that
any of that
English.
blood in me, so
But,
I
winning.
do.
They kept it very, very in a very close container, and they kept the lineage. It was a very, very small pot.
Right.
That you start seeing like very, very oral problems. People start having like very, very
Resistance.
weird
Ooh.
teeth.
Yeah.
People start having very, very weird kind of face shapes. They start looking kind of
Okay.
odd. And
Trisomy is a bitch.
yeah,
Dear
and
England, you look odd.
Yeah.
yeah, there's actually this really great video by Eddie Izzard. He was like one of the first comedians that dressed up as a transsexual or just dressed up in
Yeah.
drag.
Yeah.
And he was
incredible.
talking about all this stuff. So if you guys want to look that up, if you're curious about some of the stuff I'm saying, like go watch Eddie Izzard's video because it's
Has that always been the
hilarious.
case? You've always liked different, like ever since puberty and ever since you've both always liked what you've liked. Because I like two types of men, foreign and domestic. Like
Yeah.
I'm real simple.
I
like,
actually started out. It was like puberty. I was
I'll hate
like black
anybody.
chicks, only black chicks, and
What,
then
Jared? Was the white guy with the black chick? I knew it. I'm so in love with that.
Oh.
Oh my god.
and then from there, it kind of widened out to where it was like Asian, Latin.
you like your instinct, didn't you?
And then at some point it was like, oh, white girls, awesome. Like I love the way white girls look. Like don't get me wrong. Like I can see them and I'm like, oh, you're fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The second I hook up with one, I'm like, oh wow, like there's something about it that just it doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
Doesn't not do it for me. Sometimes it does not do it.
it doesn't
But-
do it for Jared.
Oh.
But when there's a girl and she's like any other race, there's something there that's especially like Latin,
You
Italian,
want some spice in your.
there has to be
Put some stank on it, some flavor in there.
yeah.
Okay. You don't like anything bland. Let it be told.
But it's not even about that. It really what it boils down to is pheromones. And I think that you can smell a person's pheromones. You can smell a person unconsciously. It's not like you walk up and it's like, oh, you smell bad. But it's like, you walk up and somebody's skin just smells good. Like it's not their perfume or their cologne. You're just like,
You smell good.
fuck, I want to lick your skin off,
I've never had that happen to me.
Okay,
but like here's the thing.
Then
Like,
maybe you fucking the wrong dudes, okay?
Yeah.
Nope.
maybe we
That's
need
it. I
to-
was just about to say some shit, and there you go, being cute. See, so like last night, like I was cuddled up on my man, and I was snuggling him, and he smelled incredible, and I realized I was like, that's just him. So I feel like I get you, and I understand what you're saying, but I don't ever walk up to someone and be like,
Oh, I do.
what's
I'm
up?
like,
You know what I mean?
smell
Like,
you
good.
do that
I don't-
so well, I would almost imagine. I could see you walking up and being
I
like,
feel like I don't need to.
just,
Your face was so creepy just then.
yeah,
I
no,
hope that's
yours
not
was
my
too.
face. No. I hope that's not my face. But yeah, I just feel like,
jeez.
no, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's
Okay.
so like canine of you. Like,
But
no matter how you do it, it is so creepy looking from here. Like, if from this angle, total creeper.
yeah, right there with you.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I mean, obviously that you can completely relate to this, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I mean, I
Always
dated.
Asian.
No, all throughout high school and everything like that. I lived out. Okay, I'm from Toronto.
I never just heard out. I was like,
Sorry,
okay.
I live out in yeah. There it is
Out.
again.
Yeah,
Out.
there that time, didn't you? I was like,
Literally,
damn.
there's like
Mama from Canada.
3 words that all of a sudden you're like, oh, Canada.
Yeah.
I heard that, but
Yeah.
other, yeah.
I love Canadians. They
Out.
taught me how to make maple
Out and
syrup and
about.
snow.
Yes. Yes.
That's so amazing.
Yes.
Hey, got to do that once in your life.
What?
Bucket list.
You
maple
put maple syrup
and snow.
on snow, like clean, very clean, fresh snow, and it freezes, right, automatically
Into, like, a
And it's like
ball.
like maple syrup toffee.
It's like, I know, right? I
it's
love being
amazing.
Canadian
We're
now.
weird. We do things.
Well, I grew up in Maine, which
Yeah.
probably should have been cut off the United States and
Yes.
became a part of
Yes,
Canada.
Definitely, I totally agree with you.
So
there.
yeah, geographical location. Like, I mean, I actually think that Maine was like, yeah, there were places in Maine where people were actually inbred. So I don't think Canada would want to claim it. And like, I'm
lot of white
not sure
people
the rest of
there?
the country,
We're
like,
all about.
A lot of white people in Maine.
a lot of white people.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're all about bringing everyone into Canada. Canada's just like the mix and blood of everyone, right?
Yeah.
It's that type of country. But no, I lived out in the middle of
Bring me,
nowhere.
you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry, you're inbred.
Yeah,
we'll take care of them.
We'll take them all. But yeah, no, I lived
Give
out
us your
in the middle
drink.
of
We'll
nowhere.
give you our indigents.
Yeah.
So you got to figure Maine is closer to England. Like when you really break it down,
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
probably one of the first places, So
Yeah.
of course there would be a lot of genetic abnormalities.
White people.
It's funny.
Yeah,
I
no
actually
problems.
I'm not even gonna get into the English
We're
thing.
crazy. Yeah,
I'm
but no,
not-
I
ain't got that
dated a
problem.
lot of white kids growing up. Obviously, I lived in an area that did not have a lot of cultural differences
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So, different races. But then I moved to Toronto, and I don't know. I just started like watching K-pop randomly. I was like, this is
Okay.
one of my
This is something I have to do
a
with my
boy
life.
that I
Yeah.
was seeing at the time. Probably, I'm pretty sure it was like the last white boy ever that I dated. Was like, Holly,
Shout out to you, sir.
yeah, he goes, I don't know why, but I feel like you'd like this. And he showed me some like K-pop music videos. And I was like, what is this?
What is this Asian man?
This is amazing. It was
Yeah.
a girl group actually.
Nice.
Yeah, like 9 of them. It was the cutest little thing ever. And they've got the best dance routines and very gorgeous cinematic music videos.
Yeah.
Everything that comes out of that country music-wise is stunning. And I just kind of got really interested in that, and I think from there things started to like change in my head, and I was like,
Do you have a
Asian
favorite type of
boys are
Asian?
Stunning.
I knew it. She does.
What?
Filipino boys.
Cause see, she likes Filipinos. Cause see, you were
Filipinos.
like, I like something with some flavor in it.
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I
what
love-
kind of flavor? And he's like,
Korean
you had
boys
your
are
favorite type.
stunning. Korean boys are absolutely stunning. I mean, there's certain K-pop groups that I was like, I will take all of them. Thank you. But they're beautiful. But half
You ever
the
thought
time
about,
they
like-
are wearing some makeup. So
Yeah, I was gonna say,
We can look
some of
past
them
that.
look a little like they're like boys that look like girls that want to be boys.
they're
Kind of a
very,
thing.
Justin
Yeah.
Bieber.
they're
It's cool.
very
Yeah.
pretty. Yes, they're the like K-pop groups and stuff. The boys are all
Very in sync.
beautiful looking
Yeah,
boys.
very
Yes.
very
Nice.
yeah.
I love beautiful men.
Pretty boys.
Pretty boys.
Pretty
So
boys.
Yeah, they're not like, ooh, they're so pretty.
Yeah. And you know, that's cool. Like I there's a lot of social justice going around on the internet right now about like why Asian men have never been cast in roles that, you know, denote like sexual, like they're and you know what, when people talk about like casting roles in movies, I've got something for you. Okay, here's how fucking movies get cast. Okay, a guy goes on screen and people go and buy that movie, and then they go, oh wow, he's great, and then he gets put in another movie, and then people go and they watch that movie, and if nobody in whatever country they're actually putting those movies out in wants or finds that guy sexually attractive, they just don't, then the movie's not going to sell. So if that doesn't fucking make sense to you, like I don't even get this. I don't understand.
I feel like they're choosing people who are racially ambiguous, like a racial ambiguity
people
on
need
purpose.
to get their fucking head out of the movies. It's like they're fucking movies. They're stories. And here's the awesome thing. Everybody has the ability to make movies now. And there's tons of stuff coming out of Asia.
Well,
and it's like,
and it stays over there.
if it was
And
going,
Why are you yelling at me? Why am I taking the heat for this? What is wrong with? I don't have any problem with Asians or Asia.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't
love
either.
Express Painter.
And I love how
favorite.
like when this thing was going on, they brought like the one buff Asian onto the thing, like the only like super buff Asian I've ever seen.
Right.
Like this dude's like 6'5" or whatever, and he's towering over, and she's like, "Oh, you're sexy," and it's like, "Yeah, of course. Well, fucking, bring that guy on." But when it comes down to it, it's like, in Asia, like fucking Jet Li is considered hotter than fucking anyone. Like he's considered like one of the hottest people on earth. And it's like
one of the guys from Fast and Furious who was the bad guy was really good looking too. I can't remember what his name is, but he was also really great looking. He's a good looking guy.
They've tried this before where they'll integrate Asian actors into films as like either the bad guy or there was
they make good bad guys.
But it was like a bad guy, you know what I mean?
There was that movie called Assassins, I think, and it was an Asian K-pop guy. He was like. There's
a few of them.
Super great looking dude, like shredded, and he was like a big pop star. Yeah. And that's what they tried to do. They made a movie for him, and they tried to make him into a sex symbol. And nobody ever saw him in America after that.
Wow. Right, yeah. But over in Asia, they're killing it. But
so
it's the transition
for the social
over
justice
to
warriors
of the world that the
people like what they like, so shut the fuck up about what they put in movies.
Yeah.
How about that?
Right.
Yeah, because that shit just irritates me. I'm actually creating a whole bunch of blog content.
He has a lot of passion, guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of passion.
Yeah.
He's like a stallion, this guy.
It shit just gets on my nerves. Like, there's so much social justice on Facebook that it's like.
Yes. Well,
exhausting.
The internet has made it so that, anyone can type whatever they want, and it doesn't really have a huge consequence right away.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a huge consequence, but then it has a huge effect.
Yeah.
So
it does. You're right, it does.
It's like all of these things kind of collectively. What it is the ability that we're strong in numbers kind of put on this mass scale, and it really really kind of like magnifies that point that like there's a lot of power in numbers. If you've got fucking 10,000 people that fucking hate you, like just that's crazy. Like 10,000 people that don't like you that are now sharing your stuff.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Travels fast.
Do you get a lot of trolls on your channel?
Not too many.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get some weird people, but I think everyone does basically.
What's it like dating in the geek community? Is it technically geek or is it nerd or is it gamer?
Well, my boyfriend's a basketball player.
Okay.
He was oh gosh, what's the word?
And he's Asian?
Yes.
You go, girl. Okay. She's like, I'm a tall one.
He went to school under a full basketball scholarship in the Philippines.
Oh, nice.
And I met him in Manila. But we had a conversation because he's Canadian. And I was
that's
like,
nice. So y'all share that?
Yeah,
that's
so we
cool.
talked at like a club
talked
event.
about things?
Yes, we talked about all the things. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm from Canada. I'm like, where? He's like, oh, I'm from Toronto. I was like, well, no, I'm from Toronto. And people, you know how people will live outside of a main city, but when you're out of country or whatever, you'll say, I'm from Toronto. Okay. Are you actually from Toronto, or are you from one of the surrounding cities?
Yeah.
Because no one knows what they are.
Yeah.
And
right.
he was like, oh, I live like an hour outside of Toronto. And I'm like, that's
there
what
it
you
is.
do.
There it is, you country bumpkin. I
was
see
like,
you.
I knew it.
Yeah.
But so I made fun of him a little bit. But we kept in touch, and he ended his school and came back to Canada literally the same time that I did, so we kept in touch.
That's so exciting. That's such a cute little story. Like,
Yeah.
what a sweet
He's
story.
a
There aren't sweet
super
stories anymore.
sexy, tall Filipino
Asian
guy,
man.
and I literally, the first thing I thought was like, you're really tall.
I
Like,
redact
really
my
tall.
comments about basketball earlier.
Yeah.
Before the
No,
show started.
I'm not even. No, I'm not. And that's the funny thing is, I don't play
Yeah.
any sports. I don't like sports. And when he was like, "Oh, I'm a basketball player," I'm like, "That's
Gross.
cool."
I
Do you
used
watch
to be.
anime though?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Do you? Because we can relate on that.
Yeah,
But do you game?
yeah.
So,
Bro, do
question
you
is-
even game?
Do you
Real
game?
question is.
So he doesn't too much, obviously, but we do have some good things in common. But
Okay, so
That's cool.
no gaming, huh?
yeah, no gaming together. But yeah.
Have you ever dated another gamer?
No, I haven't.
Interesting.
Do you feel like secretly, like you really don't want to deep down?
I mean, I probably wouldn't see them much
Why?
because, well, even, especially if they're like a professional gamer, those guys have no time for anything.
Yeah,
They're on
literally.
the computer for like 12 hours a day.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, to be
Mary
a
and
professional gamer,
Jobus, I
yeah.
can't even
Yeah.
handle that. 12 hours a
Professional
day.
gamers are intense.
Yeah.
A lot of time and a lot of
day.
energy. Yeah. Mhm.
I heard like it's funny because
I don't know.
I met a guy who was
I don't
associated with a really
know.
really big gaming thing or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, dude, you know, pro gamers like get chicks, and I was like, what? And he was like, dude, they totally fuck bitches, and I was like, what are you
I'm sorry,
talking
there's a such
about?
thing as a pro gamer?
Yes, there are people
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah,
I was like, you
yeah.
even exist, sir? Like, I
More
didn't.
people watch the League of Legends tournament that's held every year than the Super Bowl.
But it's like,
times,
they
like,
go,
100
do they play in teams
million.
or like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
by themselves?
Teams of 4 normally,
That's incredible.
and the grand prize
Yeah.
for league is I think at least $1 million.
It's like a poker situation. Amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
It's a lot of money.
Amazing. Do they get heated? I feel like I want to watch it now. I feel like
Oh,
I want to get drunk and
yeah.
watch it. I feel like I want to
Oh,
get drunk and watch
yeah.
this situation go down. Like, it can only be gold.
Yeah.
You'll have no idea what they're talking about.
I'm so
and it will
excited.
be
Can I have you
hilarious.
translate?
I don't even know half the time. I mean, if it's
That's
a game that I
amazing.
don't know, there's so much terminology that's in there. Oh man.
So you don't do professional gaming?
No.
Okay, so
I mean, that would be great, but I don't have the time for such things.
okay,
It's a lot of work.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah,
12
you'd
hours.
have to live in your mom's basement for a long time and kind of like
And I
really
do,
establish your
yeah.
clout.
Well, and I play a lot of
Mom and
RPGs,
Meatloaf.
right? I play a lot of single player
Yeah.
RPGs. So I never grew up on the games that were like multiplayer, first-person shooters, tournament type games. I was never that type of gamer.
Mhm.
So I'm not playing Call of Duty all day, and therefore I can go
Yeah.
and compete with it.
I couldn't play
Playing
first-person
Zelda,
shooters.
Like, yeah.
I would get so sick. Like, first-person shooters make me like, it takes 10 minutes. All of a sudden, I have a headache. I'm nauseous for the rest of the
I
day.
have
It's a
no
lot
idea what
of
the F
visual
either one of you are
yeah.
talking about. Like, I am sitting here just saying yes like an
Yes.
asshole because I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about.
You're
Not a
learning.
fucking clue.
You're learning though.
Not at all. Nothing. I learned nothing. I feel like
There's
I'm
like a little
listening
bit
to
of lingo.
Russian and I'm
Well,
like,
yeah. Well,
like
you'll
when
get
y'all
there.
laugh. Like,
we'll
I
make
have no
a
idea what's
gamer out of
happening.
you yet.
It's funny because I used to be like, I went, you know, I did, I played quite a bit of video games. I was never very good at them, which is also part of the problem. So I was addicted to something that I was bad at, which
I
causes
played
a lot
Nintendo.
of
That was the last time I was there. I was like in Mario
Yeah.
Brothers, and I was dope at it. I
I
had
loved,
a Yoshi and
I
everything.
loved when Game Boy Advance came out
right.
because then all of the Super NES games were on a handheld.
Yep.
So you could just play with that.
It was dope as a
Yeah.
kid, right? To be in the car and like we're going on a road trip. I don't give a shit. Like I got my Game Boy. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love
yeah.
pixels, not pickles. I love pixels.
I love.
Okay. Heard that, didn't
Yeah.
you?
But-
No, I take my PS Vita and my like Nintendo 3DS everywhere I go and play like games on flights and stuff like that.
Yeah, but once they
that's
got like
cool.
super
Yeah.
awesome graphics, it like kind of lost me. It was like, it's awesome, it's beautiful, it's stunning, all that stuff. But like, I really like the little cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked when they were little figures and they were running
so
around.
many people make a lot of companies make a lot of retro
Yeah.
Yeah.
8-bit 16-bit games because they're just so nostalgic to a lot of people
Yeah.
that a lot of older generation gamers love it.
I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
what. I was
Right?
out the other day.
Minecraft is huge and
Yeah.
block animation. It's not
I
literally
was
nothing.
out the other day
Yeah.
and a guy's cell phone went off and it was the Mario Brothers theme song and I literally was like, I
There
was
you go.
so excited.
You're
There's
like,
so
yes!
much joy in my heart.
Yeah.
I was like, do 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 do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you just
Video
know
games,
it. Like it
video
loves you.
games.
Like you remember that. Like for me, I'm same Z's. I want to chase the mushroom. You know, like to level
Eat
up. You forgot that? Like, what's wrong with you?
I didn't forget anything. It's just the
Wow.
fact that you
Just
said,
laughing.
"Oh, I chased the mushroom," and that was what.
Chase that mushroom.
Yeah, you get it. You gonna eat it?
It was
You're
cute.
gonna put it in your
Some
mouth
of
and eat
the
it?
people at the Nintendo booth the other
I
day
might.
were saying how they were doing like the Zelda, explaining some of the game, and in the new Zelda game you like can collect food and stuff to get back your hearts and
Nice.
everything. And Link picked up a mushroom, and everyone like on the stage, all the guys from Nintendo were like, because we love mushrooms here at Nintendo. And I was like,
That's how we get
I was
half our
like,
shit to
yes,
be developed.
I bet you all do. It was
Yeah.
so funny. They're like,
In development stages, they
love
have to be
mushrooms.
like packing it down, just like like hammering it out to drugs. You would think that they would have
I
to.
don't know.
So I'm really curious.
It's a
Is
good time.
have you ever met a nerd or a geek with like super geek game? Like,
Geek
do you know what
swag?
that is?
Geek swag?
No, yeah, geek swag.
Okay, I'm with that. That's a good question.
Because
I
it
like
does exist.
I second
I've
that
seen
question.
it a few times.
Oh, yes?
I wouldn't have
Explain.
believed that it existed. Because I mean, in my book, it's funny because in my book there's a whole bunch of cartoons and illustrations and funny
Right.
stuff. It's very nostalgic. And I kind of reference a lot of stuff. And I think there are a few times flat out where I'm like, look, stop playing fucking video games. Go to the mall. Like, it's a men's self-development brand. And when it comes down to it, a lot of guys are going, well, I can't get girls and I'm really awkward around them. I'm like, yeah, if you're fucking glued to a TV for 5 hours a day, you're going to be awkward around anyone. You're
Yeah.
just awkward because now you're literally atrophying the part of your brain that needs to be social. And being social and not being awkward around girls, that actually takes a lot of work. It's like the same amount of work that you would spend in front of the TV playing a game. You have to be out there actively doing it, and then you go, "Oh wow, I'm not afraid of her anymore. Oh wow, this doesn't bother me
She's
anymore."
a monster.
Yeah. No, but it's
Sea
like
beasts.
there are biological factors, like when a guy is talking to a girl that is at a level of attraction for him
Yeah.
that is conducive to biological procreation, he suddenly becomes nervous. The second that she's hot enough to where it would matter, and it would matter because they would have good young, anywhere up from that, all of a sudden he's stuttering, he's shaking, his hands are getting clammy, and a lot of guys have that problem. And it's not like one or two guys have that problem. A lot of guys have that problem. You just have to go out and get over it until it will cease if you continue to practice talking to women and
Yeah.
actually hanging out with women and establishing eye contact with women instead of sitting there like this. And so yeah, I mean, and that was a big thing for me was I knew a lot of guys that were doing a lot of stuff, and I'm like so the difference between the two of us
Yeah.
is that you spend a lot of time at home alone watching TV, and I spend a lot of time out talking to women.
Yeah, well, I get a lot of. So I did a video with some of the RSD guys that went pretty viral, and it was like about white girls liking Asian boys.
Yeah.
Who knew? She knows nothing about
Because
this.
I don't know, it's apparently
Right.
a rarer thing here. It's not in Canada.
Is it really not?
No.
That's an interesting factoid from
Maybe it's,
Canada.
Yeah.
maybe it's just because there's like
There's no social.
as being white in Toronto, I am definitely the minority. Easily.
What? I
Yeah,
thought.
I was just thought the same thing.
Yeah, I
was
thought
like,
Canada was like
wait,
entirely white people.
breaks.
No, I literally I am the minority.
Wow. So
which
what?
I think is great.
There's a lot of Native
I'm
Americans there. There are a
I'm
lot
all
of
about
Native
it.
Americans for sure up in the Ottawa, the Ottawa territory,
like-
because that's
Wait,
where my
what is
dad's
the
family's
main
from,
thing
the
then?
Ojibwe.
Asian.
That's
So wait,
wild.
Canadian Asian.
Yeah, there's so many.
Canadians.
So many Asians. So many. Just everything really.
It's a hodgepodge up there.
I was
I'm
wondering-
57.
We let everyone in, so I think I'm just less.
That's like runoff from China.
It's
like,
really
the
ridiculous how you guys
overpopulation.
let everyone in and have no drama. I'm just saying.
we do have no drama.
Just saying.
And our gay pride is the best.
Just saying, guys. Not that we
We
should
hope-
take
Why
it
are you
over,
looking
but
at
We
me?
hosted World Pride last year. Oh man, it was
Because-
a party.
Yeah.
Naked
Just
people
lots of
everywhere.
hay. Just tons of hay.
No,
Hey.
like our pride goes full out. Like we have like a naked parade in Toronto, and like
I'm
everyone's
down.
just like woo, like women and men. Everyone's just like yeah.
That's
like,
exciting.
People,
Yeah.
Like, paint their dicks rainbow. Everyone's like yeah.
Okay.
I've noticed that's a
woo."
thing with Canadians. I have a friend, one of my best friends.
Nakedness?
Is
Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
And he just there's this point that he hits, and it's about
you're
it's like
time to
get
it's
naked.
like there's pre one beer and then there's post one beer, and after that one beer he's just like yeah, fuck it, and everything.
And then there's like the time, the tank time between that one beer where he's taking off his clothes.
Yeah, and he'll just like walk up and have, like, you know, dick in hand, whipping it around. Just
I see you hanging out with people like that though. Like I don't know anyone like that, but I see you having friends like that.
It's crazy because he's also CEO of a huge company. So he's like,
he needs to let loose. That's
no,
why.
it's not even he needs to let loose. I've seen him hold meetings in basketball shorts, just literally like basketball shorts,
Okay.
no shirt, and just be like playing with his own nipple.
Oh, well,
and he'll be like
weird.
talking to somebody, and he's like literally like playing with his nipples.
Right, that feels maybe he's testing you. He's like, "Are you distracted? We're talking here. Are you distracted?"
But I met a few other Canadians that had very similar.
Not naked, but we have like underwear subway rides. Everyone's riding the subway in their
I don't
underwear.
feel like we ever do that in America.
Public transit. Well, as a girl, you're allowed to be topless. Legally.
You should be
because, you know,
allowed. That's a funny concept. Like
right?
You should be allowed to do whatever.
Yeah, it should never.
Yeah.
I think nudity is great, and I don't have an issue with it. A lot of Canadian is a lot of European descent as well.
Right. Well, yeah.
A lot of that
So do you? So because of the lax nature of that, do you find the guys over there are less thirsty than the guys over here? Because it's so prevalent.
Yeah. I mean, there's still lots of thirsty people everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's better.
Yeah.
I bet.
Definitely. I feel safer in general around like
anyone.
guys and stuff.
Yeah, because that's another quality I've
Anyone?
noticed about like all of my Canadian friends that are male are so just like laid back, cool, like don't have problems talking to women whatsoever. They just kind of walk up, like don't.
Yeah. Hey.
And they're not like, hey bro, like can we get some of that? Like
there's a level of repression in our
weird.
culture though that
There's
a level of
lot
repression, and
a
repression breeds
a
anger.
lot of sexual.
Well, yeah, and it breeds anger. That breeds anger and frustration. Just like we talk about what happened recently with Orlando.
Yeah.
That guy, he apparently may have had some gay tendencies or may have been gay.
Yep.
And it's one of those things
that
that's
is
really
your
sad.
legacy for the rest of your life, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
The whole world is gonna remember you as a closeted homo.
When he's serious, and that
Oopsie, backfired.
If that's the case,
Totally
it
fucked
really
yourself.
Yeah, like
because it means that a lot of
like had you
people
fucked
in
more
this
dudes,
country aren't okay with like gay people in general.
well, and
it's
that particular
screwing with a lot of
Muslim
people's heads.
culture, he went from like super, Muslim culture is very, very kill
Right.
homosexuals,
Right.
to American culture where it's like, oh, we'll tolerate homosexuals, and
Maybe, depending on where we
some.
are.
yeah, and then
Like-
we live in LA where it's like it's very, very open here.
Oh my
It's
God,
awesome.
it's
Like
amazing.
when people when I see things on Facebook about being racist or homophobic, like it's hard for me
It's
to.
foreign, right?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, half of the
all of Canada's like that.
Yeah.
See, I'm from
What is
Alabama.
this?
Yeah.
So it's very different because it's like I moved specifically because of that.
Yeah, I would run if that was
Dead.
If that was the case. When I was in Slovakia, they had when I was shooting my Playboy cover there. I remember going to a wedding and even some of the guys there, because I forget where exactly that's in Europe, but same thing. It's a little bit not okay with gay guys yet, and they even mentioned some things about some friend of theirs that was like, oh, he's gay, but it's fine because we knew him before, and I was like,
what does that even mean?
The way people rationalize it.
Before behind closed
I was like,
doors, he
excuse
dared
me?
to have a relationship with someone else he loved.
I want to do an
shut
entire
up.
thing on straight people rationalizing gay people and actually film it because I think it would be hilarious because some of the shit that I've heard out of people's mouths, they're like, oh, if you want to be like that, that's cool, and I'm like.
What does that even mean?
I always break this down for my straight friends. I'm like, look, when was the last time that you found a big, gigantic, just hairy asshole, and you were like, oh man, I just want to fuck this shit out? I'm like, when would that ever go through your mind? When would you ever be like, when did you choose that? And
I don't
and
think I
they're
saw
like,
that coming.
nah. And I'm like,
I don't think I saw that coming.
like exactly. I'm like, they're actually designed that way. Like they've been born that way. That's just the way they're wired. And that's what homosexuality is. It's like. That you like what you like, and
I feel like I don't feel like it warrants an explanation. I don't think I should ever have to tell you what I do behind closed doors. It shouldn't matter to you.
well, because it's not affecting you in any
it
way.
shouldn't
Who
matter.
cares? Do you?
I do whatever
I'll
I
do
want
me.
behind closed doors,
Yeah.
and y'all don't know, and we just don't talk about it. And that's the way. I mean, it impresses me. People think that they should weigh in on someone else's life and their life choices. Like,
yeah.
who in the fuck are you? Like, what are you, real life Bill O'Reilly? Shut up.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't have time for this. It's too crazy for me.
And see, I feel like those people, like people that have too much time on their hands, maybe they need video games. Maybe video games.
Oh my
Maybe
gosh,
they have the
yes.
problem themselves and they need to back off and go deal with their own shit.
Well, even
Yeah.
oh my goodness,
There's-
even at
As we
E3,
just said.
What's that?
there was even at E3 there was a booth that was doing some porn VR, and first of all, it was like in one of the corners of one of the halls, and you could
kinda
spot it
neat.
from a mile away because there's like 50 people just waiting, and the 4 booths in front there's like nobody there, and then I'm like, oh. Porn VR. over there.
Yeah, can you
I thought that
imagine?
was great, but I'm just like, this could be revolutionary. And I was like, it's only VR
it's
right now.
promiscuity without the pregnancy or the STDs.
Well, no, I
you
was
go,
like- I
guys,
was
get
like,
it.
Oh my goodness! Like, what? Let's make like a blow-up doll that has sensors all over it, so it can be super interactive, and you can squeeze like the doll's butt, and it will react in VR.
We're so
It'll
way
be
past that.
amazing. And then people
Wow,
that might
that's like
feel
robot
like they
sex.
should.
There's a-
sexually assault people because girls aren't wearing enough clothes outside or whatever they
Or they're
think
just
is the problem.
repressed.
They can stay indoors and play with that doll and no one will have a problem.
Yeah, and there's definitely that. No, we've gotten
you
way
go.
past the blow up doll place.
Yeah.
There's a company right now that I know of, and they're vaguely involved with another company, and that's how I met them. I haven't met them, but I know of the company, and they do. They're basically creating like full prosthetic robots, like these fucking things. They actually have a heat signature to where they feel like a human. They're warm like a human. They fuck
Man, y'all know
like
some
a
weird
human.
shit.
Like
Y'all y'all are up on some weird.
they're
shit.
actually
I gotta
like
go above y'all.
they're called companion dolls or
Yeah.
whatever or something.
Why do you
And
know so much about them, Jared? I feel like you
'Cause
know
it's
way more than
interesting.
motherfuckers should about
Because
this.
I
No.
work with a company
It's-
called Humai that
Sure.
does human robotics.
It's really
Okay.
interesting.
So-
I think it's
You
all
work
really
with the
cool, and
company?
that's why I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Are you, like, for
VR
the test
porn.
subjects?
No, we're actually developing. So with Humai, the brain transplant company, we're looking at what anybody's doing because we're trying to develop a human synthetic body that can actually we're trying to develop RoboCop, in a way.
Which
So
will only end terribly.
Right.
says everybody, but we've actually it's crazy because
Obviously in the movie.
we ended up
We've seen
going
the
through.
ending.
It was like I was in on the chat between all of the major players in the company, and I figured it would be ethical issues for days, but within 3 hours, maybe or not even that, like maybe a half an hour, all of the ethical issues were completely phased through, and people were like completely answered, solidified. Everything was like,
I
and
love
then it
people
was like,
want to
it
live
was like,
forever and do
wow.
stuff like this.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn. Y'all let me die.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, why do y'all want to live forever? Why
But
do y'all
see,
want to be in robots? I don't give a shit. Like, I'm
it's-
trying to talk to real people and then go in the ground. I'm
But it's
trying to
like-
do what I need to do here
yeah.
and then go.
But it's like what you're saying with other people weighing in on other people's lives. And that key point, like I don't get where other people weigh in on, like you said that earlier. That's a really, really interesting point because I can't tell you how many conspiracy theorists and hate groups chime in
Oh
on
my
the
God,
Humai.
so
And I tell them,
true.
I'm like, look, we don't want to turn you into a robot. You want to die, you can die. But if I want the fucking choice to live forever, I should have that choice. So that
I feel like people should be able to vote you. Like,
argument.
I feel like if that's some bullshit, because we should give you recommendations, you should have at least 5 friends who say you can live forever, that you're a cool dude, and they can vouch for you. Because there's some real assholes out there
that's a
that
good
don't need to be
idea.
living forever. Like, we need a reference
Yeah,
system. This
okay,
is
yeah.
this is no.
Well,
Let
the other
everyone
thing
know
is-
let
to do this
him
right now.
because he's cool and he's a
yeah,
nice
like
guy.
you
Yeah.
all right, but who else you taking with you?
Yeah, but I mean, the other
I'ma
really, really
die.
cool thing is because these bodies wouldn't need an abundant amount of resources to survive, they would be self-sustaining. A lot of those factors and they don't die. So if we can nail down the technology in the next 100 years, those will be the first people to colonize space because they don't die.
Well, I'm
so you
gonna
can
see y'all
send
later.
them into space
And
for
then
1,000
it's gonna be
years.
Call of Duty in space.
Yeah.
I'ma look down- I'ma
Or
look
they
down from
get
heaven
out
and
there,
be
they
like,
go
"Alright,
crazy,
then,
and they
that's
fucking
cool."
you never know what happens. It could be some event horizon shit, but.
I feel you.
You
I'm
know.
gonna look down from
Zombies.
heaven and be like, my boy Jared made it. All right, then, Jared, you go, boy.
Zombies.
But I think that when it comes to progress, people always stop progress because they're like, oh, well, that sounds like a bad idea. Oh, that could be bad. And it's like, man, we've had the ability to regenerate organs. Yeah, think how many people we could save by just what we can do with stem cells. And it was people like George Bush that said, no stem cells in this country. And it's like, we developed technology that we didn't need to use embryonic stem cells. We can develop our own embryonic stem cells without a fucking embryo. So we can do all of that shit. We can develop all that shit in a test tube, and there's no baby being born, there's no conception. And we can literally regenerate organs. Can you imagine how long people would live if you could go to the store and buy a new organ?
I want to die, so I don't know. I don't want. Listen, y'all leave me alone. Y'all drive me crazy right now. I might die tonight just to annoy y'all. Like,
then I'm sad because you need more fucking entertainment in your life. If that's how you feel.
No, I mean, like for me, I'm like, look, I feel like I'm Native American. I feel like an old soul.
That's cool. That's cool.
Right.
But another really, really cool thing is that with that kind of technology, we would be able to actually eliminate a lot of the hangups that get in the way of VR. And so when you're in a VR system, you still got all your senses to kind of remind you. But if you were a brain and a body, you could literally unplug and go straight into a VR.
Yeah.
So now your consciousness, your actual brain is going through, and you are living out in an avatar.
I'm in the ground. What the hell are you talking about?
Like,
You're living out in Avatar. I'm dead. I died.
Dead.
That's what happened 40 years ago.
Yeah, and I mean, think of the possibilities there. So not only like out in the outside world, we'd have, like we could literally program our robots to be like the Matrix, where you could just upload content and all of a sudden you know kung fu, or you can upload content and you could do all this
That's
like
so
cool
stressful.
stuff. Yeah,
I'm tired. I want to die.
Look, once a thought has been thought, it can never be put back in the box.
I'm good.
Yeah, well, like, what happens when you master everything and your monkey ass is just sitting there like a guru of life, and then you're like, I ain't got anything else to do. What do you want to do then? Die?
You get in a
You want to be like,
spaceship,
nah, I need to die.
and you
Like,
and you go
what do you do?
explore other
Shit.
planets. Yeah, space. Let's go and explore. See if there's other life forms out there.
And you gonna go drive them crazy too? They're gonna like, send this bitch back. Like, we don't want him. Take Jerry back, America.
Maybe.
We're done.
Yeah. So I mean, lots of really, really exciting things. We're almost out of time.
Technology is cool in general.
Technology is cool. I mean, it's a cool thought, but like for me, I mean, like my knees hurt already. I want to die. Like, I'm so old.
Yeah, but your knees wouldn't hurt. You'd have a completely new body.
He's trying to argue with me. I'm trying to die.
Just
playing with me. I want to die.
We'll revisit this.
David is like that too. David wants to live forever. Y'all go live forever, and I'm gonna go die.
No, just
I'm gonna crone and die.
Yeah.
Y'all live forever.
So,
do what you do.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find you? What are you doing right now? And what have you got to promote?
You can find me on all my social media stuff. It's www.hollywolf.ca because I'm Canadian. All my social media is normally at Holly T Wolf. That's Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, Twitch. I'm E3 just finished. I'm here until Anime Expo, which is the first weekend of July. And then we'll see what happens after that. I'll probably go do some more cons in Canada and some more stuff here. New York Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, Toronto Fan Expo, all of those type of things. All the nerdy things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Leah, where can people find you? What have you got to promote?
It's at Leah Pelka, Instagram, Twitter, and now Snapchat. And I'll be getting a Facebook soon. I've been guilting into it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah, because I can never tag you when I upload this shit.
Oh, yeah. You need
And
that.
then this weekend, I will be at EDC. I will be taking over Slick Living's Snapchat. So I'm actually taking over their Snapchat. So go follow us at Slick Living. And then, I'm taking over their Snapchat.
What the fuck is Slick Living?
Cleo Thomas's
Oh,
brand.
yeah. I was
over,
like,
you were like,
wow,
I know, I saw your face like that. Like, what's that? Like, yeah.
Like, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Cleo Thomas's Snapchat. He's doing his,
Nice.
Awesome.
Look at you.
Have fun at
Advancing.
It's gonna be amazing. So yeah.
I need
My friend
I need
Havoc is
rest.
DJing.
I've
so.
literally never had fun at a rave, ever.
they're
I
not my
don't
thing.
do rave things. I'm going there for like the taking over Snapchat, going there to work,
I don't
going
do
there.
rave things.
Yeah, I'm gonna be backstage. Like I'm just trying to go chill. Like I'm trying to like.
You won't chill.
I want to Snapchat the people who are not chilling. Like I want to make sure I get all of the content that's crazy. Like I'm trying to be sober and be like, these fools, y'all check this out.
Look at this
Like,
guy. He's
Yeah.
not sober.
yeah, not sober. So that's what I'm doing.
You should definitely do some
Awesome.
ecstasy while you're there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so cool. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
This was a great show.
Yay.
And that's it for tonight, folks. You can tune in. You can find us at modernmailinc.com. You can find us at modernmailinc across all social media. And you can find me on Facebook at either Modern Male or Jerod Zavistoski. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe and look forward for some new things coming from the Modern Male movement. That's it for tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Modern Male Radio.
You're listening to Modern Male Radio with Jerod Zavistoski, right here on LA Talk Radio.